vision.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rizqia Fitri Siregar, and I will tell you about modern English literature. Modernist literature is the literary form of modernism and especially high modernism. It should not be confused with modern literature, which is the history of the modern novel and modern poetry as one. There is a separate section on modernist poetry. The modernist period in English literature occupied the years from shortly after the beginning of the 20th century and remained till 1965. In broad terms, the period was marked by sudden and unexpected breaks with traditional ways of viewing and interacting with the world. In all the previous periods, experimentation and individualism were highly discouraged, but with the onset of the modern period, both these things became virtuous. Modernism is a quiet, unique, and complex movement in almost all the creative areas. It began at the end of 19th century. During this period, literature got the inception of greatest renaissance of 20th century. When the First World War ended, a number of literary trends of the modern period such as Dadaism, stream of consciousness, futurism, cubism, expressionism, and imagism emerged. In the world of art, modernism was the beginning of the distinction between high art and low art. The educational reforms of the Victorian age had led to a rapid increase in literary rates and therefore a greater demand for literature of all sorts. The key points to remember about modern period, they are: first, modern English was from 1500 AD till the present day, or from late 15th century to the present. Next, modern English developed as a language of its own as a developed version of language. And then, modern English follows the subject, verb, object, sentence structure. Next, modern English exhibits usually one pronoun for each case of the pronoun. For example, his for genitive case. And the last, modern English, some letters are not pronounced in modern English. For example, K in night is silent. Modern period is also known as the age of machinery. People had become too materialistic, brought by the machinery. There is no doubt that the advent of machinery made life comfortable for modern men. In the modern period, they are the trend of modernism emerged after the end of the First World War. They include: first, modern English poetry is a sort of revolution against the traditional thoughts and types of the Victorian era poetry. Next, modern English novels, they reign the literature in the initial 3 decades of the 20th century. These years are known as the golden period of modernist novel. And the last, English drama. George Bernard Shaw and Oscar Wilde were the most known. praised and celebrated drama writers of the 19th century. They were highly popular in the last decade of the century. Okay, next explanation. I will explain to you about Sir Thomas Elyot. Thomas Stearns Elyot, O.M., born on 26 September 1888 and died on 4th January 1965. He was a poet, essayist, publisher, playwright, literary critic, and editor. He born in St. Louis, Missouri, to a prominent Boston Brahmin family. He moved to England in 1914 at the age of 25 and went on to settle, work, and marry there. He became a British subject in 1927 at the age of 39, subsequently renouncing his American citizenship. Considered one of the 20th century's major poets, Elyot attracted widespread attention for his poem, The Love Song of G. Alfred Prufrock, in 1915, which was seen as a masterpiece of the modernist movement. It was followed by some of the best-known poems in the English language, including The Wasteland in 1922, The Hollow Man in 1925, Ash Wednesday in 1930, and Four Quartets in 1943. He was also known for his 7 plays, particularly Murder in the Cathedral, 1935, and The Cocktail Party in 1949. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1948 for his outstanding pioneer contribution to present-day poetry. William Shakespeare was an English poet, playwright, and actor of the Renaissance era. He was an important member of the Kingsman Company of theatrical players from the early 1594 onward. Known throughout the world, Shakespeare's writings capture the range of human emotion and conflict and have been celebrated for more than 500 years. And yet, the personal life of William Shakespeare is somewhat a mystery. In Shakespeare's final period, he wrote several tragicomedies. Among these are Cymbeline, The Winter's Tale, and The Tempest. Do graver in the tone than the comedies. They are not the dark tragedies of King Lear or Macbeth because they end with reconciliation and forgiveness. Other plays written during the period include All's Well That Ends Well, Measure of Measure, Timon of Athens, Corycolos, Particles, and Henry VIII. Benjamin Jonson, or Ben Jonson, born on 11 June 1572 in Westminster, London, England, died on 16 August 1637, London, England, was an English playwright and poet whose artistry exerted a lasting impact on English poetry and stage comedy. He popularized the comedy of humors. He is best known for the satirical plays Everyman in his humor in 15 and 1908, Falcon or the Fox in 16 and 6, Alchemist, and Bartholomew Fair in 16 and 14, and for his lyric and epigrammatic poetry. Johnson's poetry, like his drama, is informed by his classical learning. Some of his better-known poems are close translations of Greek or Roman model. All display the careful attention to form and style that often came naturally to those trained in classics in the humanist manner.